Hello patrons, if you're watching this video right now, it's because that you are supporting me once a month, and I thank you so much for doing that. I want to show you guys a really nifty little trick to help these strands flatten out while you're plating. Now if you haven't already noticed, some paracords experience this more than others, but oftentimes it's not very flat, especially after you gut the parachute cord. It's more of a tube than a flat strand. So I'm going to show you how we can flatten these strands before we roll the whip. After we roll the whip, they tend to flatten out. But wouldn't it be better if they were flat beforehand while we're plating? So I'm going to show you how we can do that, how we can accomplish this. Flat iron hair straightener. I bought this at a garage sale for I think 50 cents. So we're going to turn this on. I have it on 3/4 to the highest setting. And what we're going to do is grab one strand at a time. Now you can do this beforehand or while you're plating. I'm going to show you while we're plating so I can give you a before and after. I'm going to straighten the right side and I'll leave the left hand side unflattened. So we're going to flatten all these strands. And I just want to show you how this can really benefit your plating. So our straightener is nice and hot. I'm going to take here our top right strand and I'm just going to run it down the entire length of the strand all the way to the end. So the speed at which I like to do this is about like that. Of course it varies on how hot your iron is, but it's just something that you can kind of feel out and determine for yourself. Now look at that strand. Look at how flat that is. It resembles more of almost kangaroo hide, more lace than it does a hollow tube, which is what paracord is. So take a look at the before and after. I'd much rather work with something like this while I'm plating than something like this. So using a hair straightener, you can establish a much flatter strand and it's a lot easier to work with. By the way, using the new 4K camera, hope you guys are enjoying that. I am. So there's all of our strands. The only one that I flattened so far is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and go through and flatten the rest of them. I'll pull the camera back a little bit so you can get kind of a full view of what I'm doing. About that speed all the way to the end of the strand. Actually, about a week ago, I tried it for the first time and I really, really liked it. Now you can actually go over this whole thing again if you want. And that'll really flatten it out. So one by one, we're just going to flatten all these strands and I'll meet back up with you. Pausing for a moment here, I want to show you, look at how broad these strands have become after flattening with that iron, as opposed to the unflattened left-hand side. Now all of the strands on the left and the right side have been flattened. And let me tell you guys, I don't know why I didn't do this years ago, because the plating experience is just so much better. The strands lock into place. It's actually easier on the fingers, which is very important, because the surface area has increased because the strands are wider now. And it just makes the plating experience so much more enjoyable. I am having so much fun right now. Seriously though, this is something that I really recommend you try, and especially towards the end of the whips. Here, yeah, sure, it makes a huge difference, but as you work your way down the whip, you'll find that having those broad strands will cause there to be smaller gaps. It's going to fill in, the strands are going to lock together much better as you're plating. So thank you all so much for your support. I appreciate all of your support on this patreon.com. More videos to come. give this a try. Thank you guys.